Welcome to the Health and Wealth Podcast. This is a show dedicated to the pursuit of health and wealth without losing your health to attain that wealth. With this podcast, we're going to share stories and best practices of successful business owners who either sell health or have health as part of their business plan. You're going to get great marketing and strategic advice from proven, successful experts. We will also be sharing stories from successful entrepreneurs who lost their health on the road to wealth, what they learned, and how they do things differently now, both in business and in life. Let's welcome your host, businesswoman, personal trainer, and podcast queen, JJ Flazanes.
Welcome back to Health and Wealth. I'm JJ Flazanes. Thank you for downloading today's episode. Today we're going to talk about CoreTalk therapy. I think it's important, if we're going to balance health and wealth, for us to have tools that we can utilize to help us make decisions, to help us stay connected to our bodies, to help us dive into our intuition so that we're not just making decisions from our headspace and from the ego and from wanting to stay safe. So today's show is really going to go over what CoreTalk therapy is, and also how my guests today started their business because they needed this kind of therapy in order for them to thrive. Before I introduce you to Antonia and Becker and Greg Lee, I do want to remind you that I also offer support for this, both in my Inner Circle Mastermind, which there are only a few spaces left, but also in my Inner Circle membership. And while we're not doing personalized sessions, we do offer a community of people and a once a month group coaching call where we can come together to help each other and get some coaching and look at some issues and put that on the table, as well as all the other wonderful things we do within the Inner Circle membership, which, by the way, is $9.99 with a 7-day free trial. So if you're interested in checking that out, please look in the show notes. It is jjflazanes.com/Inner Circle. There's also a link to the free gift offered by the Self-Health Institute, which is Antonia and Greg's company. And there are other links in there for me as well. So just make sure to check the show notes to see if anything looks like the next right step for you, what feels good, what feels comfortable, what feels that it calls to you, it speaks to you because you need a little more support. Antonia Van Becker and Greg Lee are the founders of Self-Health Institute, and their mission is to empower clients by healing the energetic blocks that are holding them back. For 25 years, they've been working with entrepreneurs and business owners using their signature CoreTalk therapy to ask simple questions and get life-changing answers that help people go from procrastination to profit. They love helping clients get past overwhelm, procrastination, self-doubt, and chronic health issues so they can be a powerful presence and have the success they've dreamed of. Welcome, Greg and Antonia, to the show.
Hey, thank you so much for having us. We're so happy to be here.
Yeah, great to be here with you.
Well, I want to talk about your CoreTalk therapy. And before we get into the CoreTalk therapy, the theme of health and wealth is people who are marketing and doing very well, tips and tools on how to get more people into your practice in a health business, but also, even more importantly, people who've lost their health in pursuit of wealth. And that can be in any area, any genre, any business, and any lessons learned from that and how not to do that. And I know you guys have a kind of a combination of those things. So before we get started into how you got into the work you're doing, or the work you're doing, let's talk about how you got into the work that you're doing. And if you have both experienced any kind of failing of health or issue in your health in pursuit of wealth or working, that then again allowed you to sort of direct yourself into the work that you're doing now.
Yeah, I think that was really the main impetus of why we began this healing work, was because the path that we were on was one where we were, wealth was in good fortune for us, and but health was declining.
We were both working in Silicon Valley, long hours, and then we had some challenges.
Yeah, and I remember coming home from a trip in the early 90s on a business trip, and I'd been in Germany, and I came back and I had digestive problems, like big digestive problems, for 6 months. And I'd gone to a doctor who was a specialist and internist. He in turn sent me to a bunch of other specialists, and kind of long story short, After a number of medications, 3 specialists, incredible tests of everything in my body, he said, "Greg, there's nothing medically wrong with you." But I kept on having all these digestive problems, and it was a little scary. I think the people around me thought I was going downhill. I'd lost a lot of weight. I was uncomfortable all the time. It was kind of my first big, whoa, something's not right here. And interestingly enough, I left that last meeting with the doctor. I threw the medication in the garbage. I went to Whole Foods, which was a news store at that time in Palo Alto, and up walked someone from my massage training from 1977, one of my teachers. And I said, "Priscilla, I've been meaning to call you." And she said, "Yeah, your pancreas is really in trouble." So she was a little intuitive. It was kind of fun. She fit me in that week, and in a 90-minute session doing energetic healing, the work that we do now, I was completely healed. No more symptoms from the time I got off the table with her. So that was kind of like, that was what to do. And then it took us a couple of years to figure it out, bail from our corporate jobs, really focus on our vision of what we wanted to do with our lives, get certified in that work, and then start our practice. And that was 25 years ago.
And part of what my journey was from a young age, I grew up in a very tumultuous family structure, and I started having digestive issues from pretty early on, as well as getting pneumonia and bronchitis maybe once a year starting in college, had irritable bowel and all these things. And right around the time, we were starting the family, we had a young daughter, and I was pregnant with our second daughter, and Greg was doing all this international traveling. And I went out and was raking leaves one time, and I was 8 months pregnant and was on antibiotics because I had bronchitis. And I came up with a blister on my hand, and it was no big deal. But the next morning I woke up and my hand was pretty red and swollen. And I ended up starting to feel very bad. And I was like, oh, I'll just go to my checkup for my bronchitis early. And by the time I got into the doctor's, I had a red line going up my arm. And so that was and it was right around this time when Greg got so sick that I realized I had absolutely no control over what was going on in my body. And I was working so hard at, pulling 70-hour work weeks. We were both doing international traveling with, Silicon Valley corporations. And at that point, I thought, oh my gosh, I am putting not only myself in danger, but the health of my unborn baby in danger as well.
And how did you find relief, or what was going to be the path for you for healing?
So when I saw the healing that Greg had in the time with this energetic healing, it kind of threw a light switch. And I thought, wow, if that can fix that, this healing can help me overcome some of these long-term chronic illnesses that I have had. And sure enough, we both joined the class. We both got certified. We started teaching the class, and we started doing the work on tons of clients. We opened our own business and started doing the work on ourselves and our children. And we started having just amazing transformations. And, to this day, Greg hasn't had any of those digestive or pancreatic issues. And I don't get bronchitis, pneumonia hardly at all anymore. And my digestive issues are practically gone as well. And that's after, having those issues for 35 years. So we just moved ahead, started doing the healing work and worked on it ourselves and with clients, and really learned, the practical implementation of it.
So let's talk about what this healing modality is and what it entails and how you work with clients with it.
It's very interesting. People, when they come to us, they're almost always, there's something symptomatic. So there's something in their body that's uncomfortable that's come about. What we see almost all the time, it's an issue of stress, anxiety, emotional stress, where they just can't handle whatever's going on for whatever reason. And our modality, what we do with people is literally talk to their body. So when the work is called CoreTalk, and we use a combination of tools that have been around for millennia that allow people and allow us to access what their body is showing them. So it's like, when you have anxiety, so what's going on? What's really happening in the body? Why are you having adrenal stress? And so we ask the body, is this something emotional that's going on? The body's going to tell us, yes, it is. Oh, is this in the energetic system? Yes, it is. Is it in a specific meridian? So we're literally talking to the body. The body, the person's hearing this, but their body is really reacting as we're doing muscle testing. And it's what we teach also in our courses is we teach people how to talk to their bodies, how to do muscle testing, how to address the energetic system through the meridians and through the chakras, and how to make changes in their life that allow them to really go forward without being kind of stuck with the roadblocks that they've had from past experiences in their life.
And it's so interesting because we have a lot of people coming, Greg was talking about physical symptoms, but also anxiety and stress. And what people experience is that anxiety and stress comes to show up in a physical form. So they either get headaches or so many people have digestive issues, backaches,
blood pressure issues. So
heart disease. It's not only the mental and manifestation of the issues, but how then it manifests in the body, in the cells, in the musculature, that is really the outgrowth of so much of the emotional stress and anxiety. So the whole really fun part about our work is showing people how to talk to their bodies and how everybody's body is so individual. They have such an opinion about how that body wants to get these things done, wants to heal itself, and knows how to heal itself if we would just darn listen to it.
Well, as you both experienced, people only might be ready to listen to that when they're in turmoil and have no choice because the life that they're leading is causing them pain or discomfort. Or like you said, Greg, the doctor said there's nothing physically wrong with you, that you're left to think, well, I need to search out another alternative since you can't help me, but there has to be help for me because there's clearly something wrong. And I love the divine guidance and the divine timing of you running into your old massage therapist at Whole Foods. And the fact that you even knew to go there is really all perfectly timed to allow, your work to unfold and your healing to unfold.
Yeah. And, I was starving all the time at that time because food was literally just passing immediately right through me all the time. So it was like divine intervention. Yeah, I was starving. I went to Whole Foods. I was grazing the bread and pastries aisle. It was like, anything that I could do to get some energy.
Well, and it continued on because when he visited our healer, she was putting together all of the materials for the certification class that then we would go through, starting in a matter of weeks. So it was lovely divine guidance just shoving us right in there to get on this path and to, it's our mission to put the healing power of your own body into your own hands. And that is what we love to do. And we love to assist people getting there.
So I want to know more, for the people that are listening in the health business, how you have found success and prosperity in the promotion and marketing of this very specific healing modality. But before we get there, let's talk a little bit more about it and about the idea of that mind, body, soul connection, and and how you can elaborate on that in regards to the work that you're doing and health and self-health in general.
Right. Yeah. Our bodies are so intelligent about what's best for us. And then it's a matter of being able to tune in or, kind of reference what it's talking about when it's showing you things. But the body mind connection is so strong. And I love that the work that we've done is starting to really be reinforced or proved out through science at this point and through really specific studies that have been done over the last 10 years. And then with all the microbiome stuff that's happening now, where it's proof that the body, especially the gut, is informing the brain of what to do. And the brain is just taking in all that information through the blood and the way that it senses, and then it's regulating through the endocrine system what to do, how the body should react, or actually it's taking the body's message and then sending out the messages of how the body is going to then reflect what's going to be best. It's just such an interesting. It's really a dichotomy, because in our lives we think, well, I've got this brain. I'm going to think this through. I'm going to make it work, and I'm going to just tackle this. And your body kind of says, well, let's kind of think about that. Is this really the best thing for you? So we always engage people at the visioning entrance to self-health. How do you see your life? What would be the best thing for you? And then as they create that vision, then we go to, okay, now how do we talk to our body and see if that's really something that we're in tune with as they're creating that vision. So the body's reaction and its communication to us about what's best for us, because our body knows us better than anybody, actually better than we know ourselves from our brain. And so when we follow that guidance, then we start to get on a path it's like that whole very old wisdom, take the path of least resistance. And for people, when they are trying to create wealth and be successful in their life and their business, it's like that somehow doesn't seem to make sense until you get knocked down a number of times and you just give in to what really your life is trying to tell you, what your body is trying to tell you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, and so much of what we urge our people to do is that connection with the body, and then and talking to the body, finding out what the body wants, and then reining in the brain, because the brain exists to keep us safe, to keep us fed and warm and safe where we are. And that's not necessarily the expansion mode that entrepreneurs want or need in their business. And the brain just is like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to do it this way. We're going to push it. We can do it. We can push it through. And the body is more like, okay, here's what we need. Here's what we need. And it will tell you, it will do what it thinks you tell it to do. If you tell it what the brain says, I need to push this, I need to work until midnight every night, I need to work 80 hours a week, the body will say, well, okay, if that's what you want, I'll do it. But there may be consequences. So in our work, it's that connection with the body, listening to what the body needs, and training the brain to back off a little bit, to not listen to some of those old tapes that maybe it has running, those old beliefs that are driving your behavior, and looking at, okay, how am I feeling? Bringing in that emotional intelligence and the emotional awareness to your being every day, every moment, so that you can look at, how am I reacting in this situation? What am I feeling? How is my behavior affecting my ability to connect with my clients, my ability to connect with the people that I'm serving and the people that are working for me? How am I reacting? And is that exactly the way that I want to react? Because your body wants to do that, but sometimes that brain and your old messages get in the way of a better behavior. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. It makes sense for me. And on multiple levels, I also teach muscle testing at our live events, and we do emotional clearings. And definitely, I'm from obviously the mind, body, soul perspective of the body's talking to you all the time. And whether you're listening or not is going to determine how big the messages are going to get in terms of the pain factor or whatever's going on with you. So having, multiple methods to get there, and having people with experience to teach different styles of how to tap into the body's wisdom, because I am in 100% agreement with you. The body knows everything about you and is the best source of information to see if something is in alignment and the best thing for you. I muscle test all my supplements all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And from day to day, it changes. It's not a one-time prescription of take this every day. And my body sometimes says, today, this is not good for you. And other days it says, yep, this is what you need. So, I'm definitely a practicer of this method. And what I want to ask you guys is this also how you relate to your business? Like, do you use muscle testing in your business to make choices about either who to work with, how you work, how you advertise, like all those different aspects?
Yeah, we've grown to be aware of when we're using our tools and when we're not. And especially because the two of us work together all the time, when there starts to be some friction, that's many times when we're a couple of decisions down the path for the day that might be out of alignment with what would really be that path of least resistance for the day. And I think because, in our kind of new age of entrepreneurial development, where we're working with people online and we're working with people that are finding us because they have a need, it's so important to be focused on what is going to really, and so what I'm really talking about is there's all these moving parts to that as we're creating our opt-in pages and free gifts that people are going to want to access us and learn more about us, and all of the communication through emails and through Facebook, and now we have an app that's a phone app and we're communicating that way. These things have to be really from your heart and really specific to what your body is aligned with. Mm-hmm. It's like having a business that's out of alignment with your life, your perspective, your soul, your body, your values. It can only lead to like stress and anxiety
and disease
and disease. So
and actually we just finished a 5-day challenge where we taught exactly that, how to talk to your body about how to make business decisions and what kind of questions to ask your body about making those business decisions, exactly like what you were saying. Is this a good client for me? Or is this the right vendor? Or should I go with this person as a VA or this person as a VA? And even which is something I always personally need to work on a lot is, okay, should I be doing also this event, or should I be going to this other event? Things that have to do with how much I overload myself. If I'm always tempted to work too much, and I say, okay, am I getting too tired to do this? Should I put this off to another day, or do I need a break right now? And that's really helpful for me to be able to gauge my energy level so that I don't get burnt out.
Well, that was leading into my next question about how you have found success and other like success in your business and what you would impart and on other entrepreneurs in the health and wellness space, something that's working for you. And I wondered if part of what you teach clients to help with health also work for you in your business.
Yeah, it really does, because one of the things that we realized, and this was actually about 12 years ago when we started teaching the professional certification of the work that we do, we realized that working with a small group in an extended in-person situation was very unique, and it was effective for those people. But what we realized is that we weren't reaching the numbers of people that we wanted to. And through development over a number of years, we realized that having online healing programs where people could do self-healing and we could guide and mentor them in some coaching calls, there was a great model for us because we could connect with more people. So we can have 20 or 30 people on a call as we're coaching and mentoring them to learn the tools that we offer in our self-healing programs. And then those people, they can, kind of stay engaged through Facebook and through these coaching calls that we do. And it gives us a platform with which to be expansive and really attract people that are ready to have change in their life and really kind of up-level their health and their business productivity to the point where they're not killing themselves working too hard, and they're able to be very specific and make changes in their emotional, personal, and business life that allow them to grow really faster. I mean, it's like getting on the train instead of standing at the station.
Yeah, and I think just to answer your question further, one of the parts of what we teach and what we do for ourselves is clearing limiting beliefs. And so that's the kind of the more spiritual aspect as far as for me personally, and having seen so many clients, one of the things that really gets in the way for entrepreneurs is, their ability to see, and this isn't always at a conscious level, as what their worth and their value and their ability to ask for more money and charge more money for their programs. And if they have an issue with self-worth, which so many of us were taught as children, that we weren't as valued perhaps, or you're too big for your britches, or
Who do you think you are?
Yeah, it's a big favorite. That, those messages hang on, and until you can really start breaking away from those issues, it's very hard to make yourself visible, to put yourself out there on a daily basis, which is what it takes as entrepreneurs to continually just keep going, keep showing up for the party, keep putting yourself out there and making yourself visible. And if you have self-worth or a ton of fear around visibility, then it makes it really difficult. And that's what some of our clients in our longer program have had real success in being able to, stand on their own, be able to talk to authority from a calm, confidence place, and move forward asking for larger and larger salaries. So that's one of the fun parts that we've used ourselves and we have helped our clients with.
That's great. And you guys, what would you think your biggest lesson for yourselves have been in this venture of doing this healing business and starting it together and growing it together?
For me, it's really been, as we developed all of our course materials, I was the demo guy, so I do the kind of the wrap up of each module as we do our programs. And I kind of did it really live. So I didn't plan ahead too much because I wanted it to be a real thing. And I started realizing, wow, I should use these tools more. And as I started doing that and it really helped me to get clear on what my challenges were long term, where they came from, and then addressing like these deep emotional things that I'd never looked at. And I think by really stepping out there into the world and saying, hey, we want to help more people, we're creating these programs and attracting those people, it kind of, in a way, I wouldn't say forced the issue, but it really made me aware of areas where I not only needed to grow, but where I wanted to grow once I saw how well it worked out when I would actually do the work. So it's like after 3 years of doing the work on other people all the time, it's like that whole thing. And I would really suggest this for people who are in the healing arts and have a business: heal the healer. Really do your work that you're teaching and working with other people, really apply it to your life, and you'll just see great results, whatever your work is.
Yeah. And I think for me, the biggest healing that is still happening day by day by day is having grown up where it felt kind of helpless to try and get things done. And then in order to do what I wanted to do, I had to try so hard. And I was trained to work really hard and work long. And when you work long and hard, then maybe it'll happen. But what I'm realizing, and this shows up in not just work, but things I do for fun, like martial arts or, dance or something, that when you try too hard, when you push it, when you try and force it, there is an absence of grace. And it's that welcoming of grace that I am still working to incorporate into my daily life, and the faith that things are going to work out. They are not going to work out the way I'm planning it, I'm pretty certain. But I am also certain that something beautiful will work out. And I don't know what that is, but because I have the intention of and the alignment to make this work a beautiful healing work for everyone that comes to it, that I know that it will be a perfect healing art for the people that need it and want it. So allowing that grace into everything that I do is still a constant work in progress for me.
Well, we all have works in progress, right? I mean, it's not, there's no end point. There's just expansion and evolving and evolution, so to speak. So it's really being conscious, I think, in the health space to recognize your next expansion and to recognize your next lesson, and to take that, like you said, with grace and with trust, and to see where you are being called to grow into as a business owner, as a person, as in a relationship, whatever whatever have you in your life that is the next level or lesson for you to deepen and expand at the same time. So I think that's perfect. Now, for people that are listening that want to know more about the work that you do because they're interested in finding out more about how what you do could help them both in their business as well as just in their life and their health, tell us a little bit about how to reach you best.
Yeah, it's simple. On our website, they can go to selfhealthinstitute.com. So it's self, S-E-L-F, health, H-E-A-L-T-H, institute.com. And if you go to /gift, or you can also just go on our homepage and you'll see about our we have a gift there for people. And you can get a taste of kind of what we suggest as a starting point for being able to really understand more about us.
About it, our Our gift is called 3 Powerful Tools to Tap into Your Body's Wisdom. And it talks about how to do that. And we also offer a free 20-minute rapid relief healing session. And that's to give people a taste of the work. And we've had so many people, we've actually had people cleared of writer's block in that 20 minutes. We've had people that have had a pain in their back for years, and it has cleared in those 20 minutes. So it's pretty fun, and it's a real easy way to get to know us. And we also have a lovely Facebook group called Vibrant Healing Wisdom, which you can join, and we do our challenges out of there, and we'd love to see people there.
Excellent. And all of this information will also be in the show notes, so people can click on the link there or find that information there. Any last parting words of wisdom for business owners in the health field, or for people who have suffered some life-changing body health incident in pursuit of wealth, who are now looking for change?
Yeah, I think one of the most important parts of being healthy and pursuing health and getting back to health, if you've kind of fallen off the health wagon, is trust and faith that the body heals really well. I've had so many times, I also do Hawaiian body work, and I've had so many times where I've had aches and pains that are very serious, like things with joints that I thought, wow, how am I going to keep doing this? And one of the things that I learned in Hawaiian healing arts is my body is strong and healthy, and it heals perfectly. So I think being able to insert that into our brain's kind of, resistance to things actually being able to be easier, and to allow the body to do its thing by just trusting it.
And to tack on to that is, when you get, as entrepreneurs, we get into situations that can be uncomfortable, dealing with, people that work for us or that we work for. And when you're in that situation, take a breath.
Yeah.
Take another breath. And take a third breath. And center yourself in being right here, right now. And most of the time, things are fine right here, right now. Bring yourself back to the present. Don't deal with the past right now. Don't stress about the future. Be in the present right here, right now. And things will look a lot better in the moment.
Excellent advice. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you guys coming on the show today. And thank you for sharing all of your stories and your wisdom, and being able to provide something for people to utilize to help them both in their business and in their health.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We so appreciate being on your show. We love your show, and we love you too.
Thank you for listening. To learn more about JJ's other podcasts or free tools to help your business and health, visit jjflizanes.com. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this show and rate and review it on iTunes. Have a fit and fabulous day.